Hi, this is DiCarlo, and you are tuned in to All Flavors Radio with Wimbo and Natural Lily on a drive time show from 6 p.m. to 8. Don't be late.
Success can be a lonely road. It can be a tough road. It can be a hard road. It's not for everyone. Those who follow others like sheep will never know who they truly are. Only those who follow their own path can discover their true potential. Those who fly alone have the strongest wings. Those who walk alone have the strongest direction. The rest will always be in need of others for their survival. They will always need attention, need recognition to survive. I am at peace alone, needing no attention, no recognition, and still I thrive. I'm not saying those who have support are weak. I'm not saying you must go at it alone to gain strength. This is just for those who have fought battles alone, those who have felt like they don't fit in, those who have never had support in anything they do, all of those who feel no one believes in them. You don't need them to believe in you if you believe in you. You don't need their support if you've got your own back. The best part is when you truly live the life you want to live, when you speak your truth, when you embrace who you are, then you gain real respect and real love. People love those who have the guts to be themselves, those who have the courage to follow their heart. Why? It's rare. Why? Because most people wish they could do the same. Show them the way. Keep going. Believe in yourself. It will all come good in the end. And when it does, you won't have only inspired yourself to be more. You will have inspired so many others.
I had to learn to fight alone. And because of that, I am strong alone. I am strong. Full stop. I developed inner strength that can't be broken. I am unbreakable. Because of the pain, I am strong. Because of the struggle, I have character most will never know. I appreciate others more than ever. I have more compassion than ever. I had to go deep into the darkness. Now I have more depth. Now I can see clearer. I had to face huge internal challenges. Now I can defeat any challenge. I will destroy every challenge. I am proud of who I have become. I am proud I have overcome. I am proud I kept going. I am proud of who I am, who I've become. I am proud I stayed true to myself because now I can live as myself with respect from others and most importantly, pride and respect from myself.
Sounds of Shaka Khan there. Keep your head up to the sky. Good evening, all Flavors Land. How y'all doing out there? I am Wimbo77.
And I am Naturally Lily. Good evening, everybody.
Good evening. And Lily, what a day, what a day.
What a day indeed.
It was beautiful out there, I must say. The weather has gotten a lot better, hasn't it?
It has. It's still a bit cold, I think.
Yeah.
Still a bit chilly.
Uh-huh.
But it's brighter, which is nice.
Yes, yeah. And we were out on Sunday, was it? Was it Sunday we were out? And it was quite nice.
In the park?
Yeah.
Saturday was lovely.
Yeah, trained in the garden this started.
Oh, nice.
And had all the weights and everything out there. And yeah, it was just something different. I normally go up to the hill and train, but we decided to just do it from home this start end, and it was very, very, very productive. So how are you all doing out there today? We have lots and lots to be getting on with during the show, but just sending out our condolences to Bunny Whaler. He passed away today.
To his family.
And to his family, yes. Yeah. Giving the condolences to Bunny Whaler. He was the founder, I think, of Bob Marley and the Wailers, if my mind serves me well. But, you know, it's sad to hear all these greats. Another loss of these greats that have gone before us and have the ancestors that have set the pace when we think about it, because they were great people that not only changed pop culture, changed culture, but brought an amazing message, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, so condolences to Bunny Whaler's family, and you know, we really, our thoughts are with you at this time. So Lily, finding out today, National Day, it's the National Old Stuff Day. I thought, what's National Old Stuff Day? What does that mean? What does that really mean? But it says it's always observed on March the 2nd.
Okay.
So National Old Stuff Day gives notice to all that old stuff.
Right.
And encourages you to try something new. So maybe stepping outside of the comfort zone, maybe that's what it is. It says not all old stuff, but some of it.
Okay.
So we don't have to get rid of all the old stuff, but just to try something new. Yeah. It's a day to break out of the old routines and experience new ones.
I like that. I think sometimes we can hold on to the old for too long and it ends up clogging up our life, whether it's old clothes, old shoes, or other old things.
Anything old, or old habits.
Old habits, yeah.
What out there that's old that you could break away from? Have you tried anything new lately? Let us know what old things we can break out of, and maybe what's one thing new that we can try. So the question as well that we're posing today is, are black women losing interest in black men?
That's an interesting question.
It's a very interesting question. And the reason why I asked this is because someone sent me a video with this thought, and he gave some very shocking statistics as regards to interracial relationships, as well as black female and white males, that their marriages are more than likely going to last longer than same cultural marriage, as well as black men marrying white women.
I think that's a bit of an opinion other than a
It's statistics. Proof. There's proof. There's statistical proof.
But you saying it's more than likely, that's a, what's it called? That's a opinion. That's not fact.
They done a survey, so it's probably a survey of a certain amount of people that were asked the question, and they showed it was a survey of how long the marriages would last, and it worked out that the white male and the black female, that they statistically lasted longer in relationships. The black male with the white female lasted, and also black on black lasted a lot less. Yeah.
Black male with the, okay, yeah.
Yeah, that it lasted a lot less, and that one of the women that stated that if she had the choice, that she would more than likely go with, this was a white lady, by the way, would more than likely value her counterpart, her same white male, higher than she did the black male. But the black male devalues the black woman. What I'll do is I will dig a bit deep more.
No, I understand the concept of that.
Yeah.
Because of the way, you know, what's it called? Not liking oneself. I understand why men would devalue their relationship with their counterpart more than a white woman would value their relationship with their counterpart.
Yeah.
Because they've never really had those trialsome relationships. When you look at the relationships of the white household, their relationship with their families, their parents tend to, in history, not have as much strain as the black family has.
Yeah.
So from, way back, when you look at what our history is like, the black male's relationship with the female always has had some kind of turmoil, whether it's them being ripped from the breast of their mother or being forced to have children with a black woman because we need more strong babies.
Yeah.
And then the black woman becoming independent and not wanting to rely on a man. Those relationships have negative history, so I'm not really surprised that the black male doesn't value the relationship as much.
Yeah, and that's very true. I had the article here as regards to the breakdown, or as to why black males feel that way, but I can't find it at the minute. So what I'm going to do is we will tackle that just a little bit later on, and just go into breaking news. So that is one subject that we're going to go into, because it is the question that has been posed as regards to, we find it, are black women losing interest in black men? We're going to look at that in a while. But Lily, black excellence.
Yes.
Your thoughts?
This was the awards, wasn't it? Whereby a lot of actors that we know won roles. So who was it? Kahlua. Oh, what's his first name again? I can't remember his first name. I think it's Daniel or David. I can't remember.
Daniel. Is
it Daniel Kahlua? He won Best Supporting Actor in the motion picture Judas and the Black Messiah. And Chadwick Boseman, which we know sadly passed last year, he won
was it best support?
Was it best support actor?
Yeah.
For his role that he played in Ma Rainey's Black Bottom. And his wife gave this acceptance speech. I saw the wife giving the acceptance speech, and it was a bit heart-wrenching actually, trying to watch it, because as she's giving the speech, it showed like all the other supporting actors and black actresses just in tears.
That, have you seen that Ma Rainey?
I haven't watched it. I can't bring myself to watch it yet.
He done it justice, so much justice in that role. He was a trumpet player, I think it was a trumpet player, and you would have never known that he was so ill.
Yeah.
And he deserved that. What an accolade. What an accolade.
I think that's my issue with watching his films at the moment, that all I can see is I'm looking and thinking, oh, he's sick here, when I'm not really, so I'm not in focused on the film.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's I'm glad he won. I would have preferred for him to win in
The Flesh,
but
But it's still, and it said it was multiple black actors won multiple trophies.
Yeah.
And I mean, it is something, again, to be shouted from the rooftops, because at the end of the day, it's been a long time coming.
It has.
So many have been up for nomination and in the top, but never really have we seen so many at once. And also,
and our boy Boyega,
John
Boyega.
John.
We love John Boyega in this office.
I knew he was going to be big from when I saw him in Attack the Block.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Yeah, he's
absolutely
a very good
amazing.
actor.
And he's just gone from strength to strength.
Yeah, he really has. He won, he was named Best Supporting Actor in the TV series that was done by Steve McQueen, Small Axe.
We got a lot of backlash for that, but
I actually, when I was talking about this, because I'm going through watching them now, and the backlash was mainly from the episode that was about the raves.
Okay.
All the other ones didn't really get that much negative feedback, but I think, and even this was from a white lady at work, she said that when you watch the programme, if you just watch that one on its own, there wasn't really much of a storyline behind it, and that's most probably why so much of us were like, well, that's not what we're like, and there was a backlash in that regard. but she was saying you had to watch them collectively. They were a really good production. And I've heard that from a couple of other people as well. So, yeah.
There you go. Well done, John Boyega, for really... If they've set in the precedent, I'd say they're setting the precedent, as well as Andra Day. Now, I don't know who she is.
No.
Okay, she's a black woman, and she won Best Actress in the drama The United States versus Billie Holiday. I've not seen that.
Oh.
I haven't seen that film. So these are ones to look out for, everyone. Let's support them. Maybe they're on a...
so this one's on
Netflix,
Hulu.
Is it? Hulu.
Yeah.
Not heard of Hulu before. But they're there, guys. So let's support these ones. Go on and watch the films. And high five, well done, bringing up the community. But we always know that there is black excellence. We always know that we're great, and we always know that we have a level to excel to, right?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Always high achievers. We are always high achievers.
Absolutely. So that's in breaking news today. As well as in 1933, did you know that in the USA, King Kong, the movie, had its world premiere in New York in
Very
1933. I didn't even realise film went back that far.
Yeah. Is it motion pictures from like the 1910s, 1920s?
I really didn't do any research into that. Don't start updating computer. You're not allowed. See, I'll tell you, it does this every single time. I've got to tell it to remind me later. Yeah, okay, so 1933, they were well along because it was well filmed, wasn't it?
I've never seen the 1933 version. The first one I saw was the one, I think it's a black and white one, but the one that came out before the Jack Black version, which came out about 10 years ago.
Is that Jack Black the one where they went to the island and found the King Kong?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Skull Island.
All right, there you go.
Yeah.
So, what can we say? Lots of things in film there then. So, lots of great things happening. I often wonder though, when I was looking through the accolades of the black excellence, as to why they're pushing this demographic. Is it just time, do you think, for it?
What do you mean why they're pushing?
Like, what I mean, there's four black artists that have won these. This is the 78th or 73rd, 78th Golden Globe, and they weren't letting us in before. So is it just that
because enough people have been vocal, and this is one thing we have to learn. If enough people speak out on an issue, and enough people take action, then something will get done eventually. I think with the wasn't it the Oscars where we were literally not winning anything,
right?
And we was
still
getting
till now.
One person was getting nominated and they weren't gonna win at all. But I think enough white actors as well have started being extremely vocal on the fact that they know that some of the actors that are being given these awards, and it should go to the other person. You know, so they have to recognise. It's time. It says that since the Academy Awards were first handed out in 1929, only 19 Oscars have been awarded to the performance given by black actresses and actors. 19. Wasn't
since
one
1929.
of them? One of them was the lady who acted as
like Aunt Bessie.
Yeah. And she was
That's
the only
shocking.
black woman in the auditorium.
Yeah.
And then wasn't another one given to, was it not Sam Cooke?
We've got Denzel Washington.
Yeah, before him.
So that's it. She's Clarence Sinclair. She was Miss Hattie Daniel.
Yes.
In Gone with the Wind.
Yes. She cried during her acceptance speech.
Sidney Poitier.
That's who I'm thinking of. Sidney Poitier. Yeah.
So Sidney Poitier won in 1963.
Wow.
Lily's in the Field.
Okay.
And then we have Louis Gossett Jr.
That name sounds familiar.
An Officer and a Gentleman. I remember the film An Officer and a Gentleman, but I don't recall Louis Gossett Jr. I don't recall Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
So he won in 1989. I mean, it's really few and far between. Whoopi Goldberg has won from
Wow.
Ghost. So there's a few, but that...
But the fact that you can go through, that
list.
was 20 years before that one, was 20 years before that one, is ridiculous.
Yeah, Cuba Gooding Jr.'s actually won one as well.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Halle Berry, we know. Denzel Washington's won a couple of times. And Morgan Freeman, he's been in it for
he's
a
a
while,
very
hasn't
good
he?
actor,
He's been
though,
for
isn't
long
he?
haul.
He's a good actor.
Jamie Foxx.
For what?
Ray.
Oh, okay. He was very, very good in that film, actually. I loved Ray.
And Forrest Whitaker.
Is another good actor.
Yeah. Jennifer Hudson. Oh, yes, Jennifer Hudson.
For Dreamgirls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Monique. But then after that,
Monique.
they blackballed her after that, didn't they?
I don't know why they did.
Yeah.
Did she say something on live television that she shouldn't have or something?
I just think I don't know the story behind it, but maybe we'll bring it to another time.
Yes.
As well as Octavia Spencer.
Don't know who that
The
is.
Help. She made the poo-poo pie.
Oh, her. She's in Hidden Colours, not Hidden Colours, the one about the aviation.
Oh, is she?
She's in that as well.
That
Yeah,
was
she's a good
Hidden
actress. And Ma, she's in.
See?
Yeah,
that was
she's
a very good
actress.
film. Lupita Nyong'o.
Excellent actress.
And Viola Davis. I think Viola Davis as well as Mahershala Ali.
Mahershala Ali, yeah. He was in Moonlight. I think he won. So there was an award, and I don't know if it's the same award, where they announced, they read the ticket, and you could see something dodgy was going on. They read the ticket, and it's two white presenters.
La La Land.
Right.
Yes.
And he says, the award's gone to La La Land. And then they went up and everyone got up and was cheering, blah, blah, blah. And then the guy from La La Land, I think he was one of the directors or producers, he was like, no, it went to such and such. So he called them out because they did not want to give it to Moonlight. And Moonlight is Mahershala Ali.
Wow.
Yeah.
See, Regina King was another one as well.
Oh, did she win? For what?
Regina King, If Beale Street Could Talk.
Haven't seen that one.
Yeah, If Beale Street Could Talk. So I've not seen that one as well. That was in 2018. So it does seem to be a bit of a pattern. That was two black ones that won in 2018, 2016. He won twice for Moonlight.
Yeah.
And yeah, so it's sort of time lapses in between.
Yeah.
But 19, I could read that list out, guys. And I just thought that we would because
19 since 1929.
There you go. Do the math.
Look at my face.
But we had four the night before. So that's all amazing. That's all good. And we're just going to keep on going from strength to strength,
Yeah.
wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. So, beautiful people, we have a lot to talk about tonight. And yeah, we will see you all in 5.
The best radio station in the world.
AllFlavorsRadio.com.
Is right here, right now.
Have you ever wondered what therapy is and how it can help with our mental well-being? To find out more, please join me every week on a Wednesday for the Wednesday Wellbeing Show, 9 p.m. to 11 p.m. on All Flavors Radio with Darnell, the therapist.
To all quail lovers from around the world, come join DJ Naiji for 2 hours of solid quail music right across the genres: cadence music, zouk music, cultural music, lacomet, anything quail. It will be broadcast right here on All Flavors Radio with your host DJ Naiji with a short year show, 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. GMT each and every Saturday. See you there.
Club Zouk mashup session with Ninja Man Lloyd. Thursdays 8 to 10, Sundays 10 to midnight. Zouk mashup session on All Flavors Radio.
All Flavors Radio is now looking for radio presenters. Email us at info@allflavorsradio.com.
Catch DJ Laro on Sundays with the Caribbean Party, 12 to 2. And the
Brenda
Vibe
Russell
Show.
there. Not Brenda Russell, what am I talking about? Deborah Cox. Sentimental. And yes, indeed, DiCarlo, you are right. It was LA Babyface and Karen White with Love Saw This. That's a great album. That's one of my favourite albums of all time, I must say. Karen White, she was big back in the day and still sounding amazing. So before the break, all right, Lily, there's a few comments that, as regards to what we were talking about slightly before the break, and we posed that question about What do you think, guys? Are black women losing interest in black men? Your thoughts, chat room thoughts.
So we have a comment here from Kimmy who says, yes, they are losing interest because a lot of black men don't respect black women, even though their own mother is black. Very true. They want to say black women are too loud or can be too independent or moan because they wear weave. So I'm not surprised that a lot of black women go for white guys as they seem to love a black woman. That is very true as well.
Because in the statistics that was read out, it's a young fellow on YouTube that highlighted this. Mm-hmm. And the statistics said that the white guys see the value in the black woman. And that was sad. That was sad that someone outside of your race will see your value.
Can I just... Okay, so I don't know how many people watched Love is Blind. Do you remember Love is Blind? And there was a couple on there that within 4 days they got engaged.
Yes.
And that was a black lady with a white man. He never met her until she said yes, and then the screen was come up, and then they realised, oh my gosh, you're white and I'm black. And then there was another couple on there, a black man with a black female. In my opinion, the black female wasn't... Oh, we've got a phone
we have
call.
a caller, right? Do you want to continue, Leash? Just wait a moment on the line. We'll call you. We'll speak to you just in a moment.
In my opinion, the black woman wasn't ratchet. She wasn't loud. She wasn't aggressive. And neither of them. But the way the men carried themselves was extremely different. The white guy with the black female, he respected her. He spoke to her with respect. When he wasn't happy with something she did, instead of him being accusatory and you're just this because this and da, he would speak his concerns and let her speak her concerns. Are you having doubts? Just tell me how you're feeling. Whereas when it was the black man and the black woman,
oh yeah, she threw the drink in his face, didn't she?
But that was after how disgusting he spoke to her.
Yeah, the disrespect.
He called her B word. He had absolutely... You could see he didn't have respect for himself, and he was basically mirroring that onto her. And it was embarrassing to watch.
Yeah, I remember.
It was very embarrassing to watch.
Hi, caller. Who's speaking?
Hi, it's Olivia. How are you?
Sorry, Olivia. Hi. We're good. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm loving the show. Yes, I think this is the age-old question. And it can go both ways as well. You know, black guys, black women. You know.
Yeah.
So I think well, men and women are all different, and it just seems to me that sometimes you maybe see things that are highlighted that are not positive in black men and black women.
Yeah. And
it's nothing to do with being black. It's just the personalities.
Very true.
And I mean, there was a time in the 80s, after a few films, black guys intentionally wanted to go out with black women. But it's like, you have to, you go for the person, you shouldn't be seeing colour. You go for the person you feel comfortable with.
Yeah, the sad thing though, Olivia, regardless of how we look at things, and we try not to see things in black and white, but in society, sadly, that is how things are seen. That's why they will do these surveys to get statistics stating the facts that we're kind of presenting in the sense of how things last or how the breakdown comes and why it comes and amongst who, and it's done. It is something that's done. And I think there's a census coming up soon, isn't there?
Yeah, there is.
So that should be quite interesting to see the amount of... Yeah, sorry, Olivia?
No, but yes, but you I mean, if you think about, when a black man goes out with a white lady, he's still, I mean, he's still, this personalities, they're all different. You can't say one person is the same as another person. And it's all about, I'm not sure. It's not about the color, it's about the personalities and the sometimes the disrespectful attitudes that certain individuals they portray themselves in a very silly manner. So and then it gets classed as being black, but it's not being black. You can see that from any race,
and it's quite funny.
It's not one particular race that it comes from.
And it's a friend in WhatsApp has highlighted that she's maybe losing interest in the stereotype.
Yeah,
because like you said, it's the personality. But because stereotypes are in place, then certain things are expected of different people.
But then I think what I agree with Olivia saying as well about personality traits, because it's interesting that the black female and white male relationship tends to last, whereas the black male and the white female relationship is the same as the black male and black female, and the one common denominator in that is the black male.
Yes.
So it is, and I don't know if this is generally the case, but I also find that black males tend to go for black females because they are the ones that say, well, black women are challenging, they're always angry, they're always this. Not all black males, it's just preference, but I find when you ask a black male, why don't you go for black women? It tends to be, they always want to be independent and they're always giving you this attitude and blah, blah, blah. And they go in to see a white woman because they think that they are more subservient, when actually women are women.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We all know how we should be treated. And if you're not treating me like that, I'm going to be vocal about it. And that isn't a colour thing. That's just a woman thing.
Thank you for your call, Olivia. You always make
that's okay.
such valid points.
I agree. I agree with you guys, and I think the thing is that we should all have respect for each other.
Absolutely.
It's not about the colour. It's about the attitudes that we have towards each other, and we have to try and be positive about everything.
Agree.
Well, we try.
Yeah, absolute agreement. Thank you so much for your
Anyway,
call.
have a good evening, guys.
And you too.
Yes, my dear.
Nice to talk to you. Bye.
Bye, Olivia.
Take care.
Bye.
Hi everyone. For everyone that's listening on Instagram and Facebook, the reason why you can't hear the caller is because there is a slight delay in the show. So you're getting it in real time, whereas the listeners in the chat room are getting it in delay time.
A little bit.
Okay, a little bit about
yeah.
30 seconds behind. So sorry about not being able to hear the call, but you can get it on the rerun. Okay, so Olivia's very right.
It's true. I completely agree. I do think... and what the person said on WhatsApp as well, it's being uninterested in the stereotype. No, we don't want the stereotypical male that's, sad to say, here to procreate and then doesn't really want us for much more.
Sad though, when you think about it, then we're just gonna keep on making these mistakes constantly then.
But no, because there are, I do feel like there are, I know a lot of black males who don't fall into the stereotype.
Yeah.
And they are changing the way that society sees them. They're changing the way that the stereotype was. They're not just what media, because it's the media.
Yeah.
They're not just what the media portray them to be. The deadbeat dads, the drug dealers, the woman beaters, the angry man that has mummy issues. No. That is not the stereotype of a black man. And we know that is not the stereotype of a black man, but that is what everyone is being shown.
And it's funny because the article that we're about to look at is saying the reality of the black man's love lives and marriages is very different than what's usually shown on TV.
Oh, yeah.
I spent years actually talking to them. And this is a reporter that done some more statistics as regards to black men, love lives and marriage. And it's not like what you just said, how it's played out in the stereotype of what we see on the television.
Yeah.
The man that just smokes weed and don't look after the family, and so
or is trying and can never get the right job, and then his friend says, oh, come on, I'll give you a little bit on the side, come and work for me. It's just always negativity. You never see them in a positive manner. And then when you do see a positive black man, they are with a woman of the opposite of another race. They're not with a black woman. It's never a positive black male female relationship in the media. Very, very, very rarely.
But that is engineered then, isn't it? It shows that it is engineered to put in the back of our consciousness that it will never work, that black on black. But we know that's a lie, right?
Regardless of, I think love is love. I don't care whether you like, you're a white woman that likes black men, you're a black woman that likes white men. I don't care. But it's the principle behind it. It's why do other races' relationships get promoted in such a positive way and are never really mixed with the black relationship? And then when you are showing a black relationship on the television or on YouTube or whatever, it's not in a positive manner. And that is what I think needs to change. Not whether you want to have an interracial relationship or not. I think the whole idea behind the types of relationships and how they last and how they are with one
interact,
another, that needs to change.
Yeah, Jackie Gold says, I can see the good in all races. However, I'm most attracted to men who can relate more to me.
Yeah.
The life I have had, you know, so that people don't have an issue with. It's not a race thing like that has been brought out, but it's just maybe the relations, who you can relate with, that as well. And we looked last week at a marriage that has broken down, interracial, and we saw again the breakdown of that situation. Yeah, so it doesn't matter. I guess it's when you're in it, that's when you'll see the outcomes. Yeah, and it's how hard you want to work at it. Last week looked at its communication, all that kind of stuff. There's a lot that goes into making a relationship work, regardless of race, regardless of who you are, regardless of the things that we've grown up with, because those things can change.
But I do think that the way a black male is raised has a very strong impact on what he thinks is expected of him in a relationship. If you see in the breakdown of his mum and dad's relationship and then mum had to struggle, does he really understand what the male's role is in the relationship as well? Because that's another issue that tends to come up within the black male's relationship. I'm not going to say black and black, I'm just going to say the black male's relationship is, do they understand the role that the male is supposed to play?
Well, this guy that wrote the article, I've got to go in and find out his name. He's a graduate student and university professor. And he said he spent nearly 2 decades reviewing studies on black men and families. And he said the general consensus from them falls into one of 2 categories. First, that many black men are not viable marriage mates because of their financial struggles and will not allow them to provide for a wife and children.
Wow.
And the other studies conclude that many poor black men reject monogamous romantic relationships in favour of hypersexual masculinity to overcompensate for their inability to fulfil the traditional breadwinner role. And it says these men, the studies conclude, treat women as conquest rather than partners. So that's the 2 options that are given. But we know...
I want to know which black men and which families they interviewed, to be honest. Because I've always seen, and obviously I'm seeing a small portion, I don't know about the millions and millions of relationships in the world, but I've seen if a black man is struggling in his financial state, trying to get away to not struggle in that financial state. Yes, they have the stresses and strains of, I really need to support my family and whatever. But as well, what about the women that they're with?
Yeah, that's true.
Because a man struggling financially, you would have a supportive wife that will help lift you. Then
times are very different where one person can stay home and be looked after as well, isn't it? It's a guy named Stephen Kahn that wrote this article, by the way. He's an editor of The Conversation. It's a online magazine, I guess. And this one's talking about the reality of black men's love lives and marriages. So it's quite interesting, isn't it? Like looking at it from whatever perspective, because I again was looking at an article today highlighting about education as well. It broke down 7 points, and one of it was education. It was quite about 42% of black males that hold a degree.
Yeah.
So I thought that was quite a good percentage.
It is a good percentage.
But then it's them getting into the workplace, which is the next problem.
Yeah.
That's them getting into the workplace and them being allowed to have that kind of academic lifestyle, in the sense of not being an academic, going in, getting a good job, she said in air quotes, and being able to provide for your family.
But I think now we live in a generation where the black man will say, fine, if you're not going to give it to me, I'll make it myself.
And a lot of them are doing that.
Just don't, no one wants to rely on the system anymore. A lot of men, they're going out into the workplace, doing their 9 to 5, but then realising, I don't want 12 paychecks. I want to get paid in the interim.
Yeah.
And they're going and they're saying, I've got a degree, let me go and start a business for myself, let me go and be a financial advisor, let me go and be a contractor, let me go and be an art. They're going and doing their own thing now, because there is a time when a employer looks at your name on the top of your paper and can work out where you come from.
Leroy Brown, for instance, maybe.
Come on, you're not getting a job.
Yeah.
And this is the problem.
Yeah. And we're going to look at that after the break, as regards to how hard it is, even within the workplace.
Yeah.
So I know that we don't like to dwell on the black and white issues, but sometimes we have to talk about them. We have to talk about them to see how we can overcome these things. And like you said there, Leash, it's so good to see so many black men out there just taking it by the bull by the horns and saying, you know what, right, you don't want me, I'm going to make something for myself.
And you know me, I'm a stickler for male rights. So
yes, I know you are. Yes, most definitely, Lee.
What about the man?
Always. Naturally, Lily's on it, guys. So she's got your back.
I've got some points as well about how to jazz up that CV.
Oh, really?
Yep.
That's good. That's good. So we will let you know in 5, okay?
Call us now on 07895 134 713. That's 07895 134713.
The best radio station in the world.
AllFlavorsRadio.com
is right here.
It never rains in Southern California. And let me show you the way. Michael Jackson. Does anyone know who sang that song? It Never Rains in Southern California. I should have Shazammed it.
Would it even come up on Shazam?
It might come up on Shazam. I'm sure it will. I don't know who sings it. If someone could let me know, that'd be wonderful. So yes, we're talking about the black male and his tough time in love and marriage, and some of the stigma that goes behind him, really the stereotypes that follow him in the movies. Yes. And we know that a lot of that isn't really true, is it? A lot of it is just what it is, stereotypes. And that is the trouble. And in line with that is another point that affects both black male and female, and that is the workplace. Yeah. And really, when it comes to the workplace, that black men feel least trusted and black women feel least empowered. Agree or disagree? Your thoughts?
I agree.
What are your thoughts out there, beautiful people? Do black men feel least trusted in the workplace? And do black women feel least empowered in UK offices? Well, we're talking as regards to the UK here. And that, again, is another sad situation, isn't it, that we find ourselves in?
It is. It says here that white employees have a better relationship with line managers as well and feel more respected at work than black and Asian workers do.
Wow.
And I feel it's that way because a large population of the managers are white. So it's someone that they can relate to. Usually, if you can relate to the person that's managing you, then they have a bit more of an understanding as to why you are the way you are and why you act the way you act. A good manager will get to know you. Well, but how many good managers are there out there, to be honest?
I think there are a lot of good managers. It's just the fact of the environment where you're working as well. Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, it highlights here that black men feel the least trusted because it was discovered engaging business, diversity and inclusion research, which found that black men aged between 35 to 44 feel the least trusted to make decisions in the workplace. And it says they are also the least happiest and enjoy their job less, in contrast to white employees who feel more positive about their views being heard at work and feel more trusted to make decisions. So why would they feel like their decisions aren't to be trusted? That's the first question I'd have probably asked.
I feel because most of the time they're not really put in a position where they can make the decision, if that makes sense. You're not. If you was to look at large companies, who is in management? What is the percentage of those in management that are of Black, Asian descent? It's gonna be a fraction compared to their white counterparts, and then even more so if it's a Black male in a position of management. They usually tend to be the grafters, the people that are running the floors, as in they're putting in the work. But in management positions, it's very few and far between.
And I guess it has been like that for a long time. But I must say, I think a few weeks ago, I've done some research into Black-owned companies, and they are on the rise, which is amazing.
Yeah, but that's not the same as a male feeling empowered or feeling responsible in his workplace. Because you've got a Black-owned company, well, it's a Black man that owns a company. Of course he's going to feel a type of way in his own company. But when you're working for someone else, it's not the same.
And it does say in UK offices, so UK being, I guess, the whole of the United Kingdom. Yeah. And dependent, again, on where you are in the UK, that makes a big difference as well, doesn't it? It also highlights that Black women feel the least empowered in UK offices and compared to other ethnicities and men when it comes to making a decision at work. This is according to Engaging Works empowerment research, which found that only 57% of Black women feeling empowered at work compared to an average of 66%.
That's still a lot higher than the males.
Yeah, because the males were between 35, what was the statistic?
35 and 44%.
Yeah. No, that was the age. That was the age of the men.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Reading the wrong statistics.
So,
I don't know. I just... Being someone who's in the workplace and knowing how I've felt at work, it really doesn't shock me. I've had awful managers that, in all fairness, could have given me a lot more autonomy to do the job that I do, but because of whatever they felt, emotion, and women, I find they manage with emotion. Whatever they felt, they didn't want to give me that autonomy, and that makes you feel so rubbish at work.
And is that because they feel that maybe you might come and do a better job than them?
I fully feel so, yeah.
But surely that's what you want in the workplace. You want it to be elevated,
you don't
right?
want to be outshined. And
but is it outshining,
moving
though?
On from that job, I've seen it, because where I was before, there was a lot of under the thumb business going on. Got to keep you in a certain place. But when I moved on and was given a lot more given a lot more responsibility, involved in a lot more things, even attending certain meetings that I should have been attending at my previous place of work where they kept me in the dark, attending these meetings in my new place where I work, your eyes are opened. Your eyes are open. You learn about certain things that perhaps you think, actually, you shouldn't have been doing that. You learn about why things went wrong when you've moved on. Obviously, you can't do anything about it now, but then it kind of validates what you're saying.
Yeah.
But it still doesn't change the fact that at that time, when you was in that workplace, you felt like rubbish.
Yeah, and you weren't valued
Not
then as a
at all.
member of staff, that your opinion could actually bring about some good transformation in the place, or you weren't given that empowerment to show that you can shine in the workplace. And I think it's quite, this is possibly why as well a lot of us are taking the steps to start our own businesses, to take the steps in management. And Joy says here as well that the stereotypical type has not changed much. Black men are less vocal than the women. So maybe we'll speak out a lot more and say, you know what, I'm not taking this nonsense.
That is very true.
My husband's got 2 jobs, kind of thing, you know.
2 jobs, I don't need it.
Whereas now he's impelled to stay because he has the responsibility. I mean, we all have the responsibility to work towards having a home, a loving home, and making sure that everyone is provided for. But it will fall onto the man's shoulders.
I must say, and he may not like me for saying this, but my husband, when he was working his previous job, was having such a rubbish time at his previous job. His manager was horrible. Just the whole situation was horrible. He went for promotions. They just overlooked him. They would never give him feedback. And I remember saying on so many occasions, if you don't like it, leave. And one day he had a meeting with someone from work, and he was like, you know what, I'm done with this. And he left. And I've never felt prouder than in that moment, because even though it could have been done maybe a little bit better, it's the fact that not a lot of men do that. Not a lot of men will say, I'm not taking your rubbish anymore. And you know I'm a good worker. You know I put in the time. You know that I've sacrificed a lot to be giving you as much as I'm giving you. Forget it.
And that was it.
And they lost a lot of good workers after that. Yeah. A lot.
And is that the point? And are the managers then penalised for the loss of staff?
No.
Or you just replaced and then that's it,
them.
Goodbye.
You just replace them. Oh, we've lost 10, what is it, analysts. We'll just send out for 5 more.
J. Ricky says men and women need to help each other learn together what balance is first. So it must be towards the love of the black man,
relationships
and marriages. And that's very true, Ricky, that men and women, we do need to help each other learn together, grow together, and be watered together. You think of a plant, and watered, it grows strong.
Men should take a page from our work.
Do you think
My wife works 2 jobs. I don't need... No, seriously, I do think they need to be a bit more vocal in the workplace.
They need to be more vocal overall, I think.
Yeah.
Because they can play it down. And maybe that sometimes they don't, we might just bark at them or something. Yeah. And they think, oh, do you know what, for less of hassle, I'm just not going to say anything. But sometimes it's good to talk. It's always good to talk.
I think it is. And I think one thing that men, I don't know if they do this, but we'll be like, oh, you're not going to give me annual leave? What's the policy on annual leave? And we'll go away and we'll research and we'll say, actually, no, according to the policy, blah, 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 blah. Whereas will men do that in the workplace? Will they be like, the manager said, no, you can't have paternity leave. You can have a week's annual leave. Do they go away and read the policy that states, actually, you're entitled to, 26 weeks worth of paternity leave?
This is it. So if you feel less of a person in the workplace, it's a matter of doing something about it. Like Lily says, go and look at policy, go and see what your rights are. We should know what our rights are. Even in this whole time of what we've had last year, legislation, laws, so many things have changed. Okay, so in that sense of our livelihoods, much less if you're going into work, we need to know. I remember when I worked at NAS, National Autistic Society, and for 2 weeks we had to read policy before we even started work. We had to read every policy and tick that we'd done it and make sure that they dotted the I's and crossed the T's. And I think that is good practice, actually, so that you know what your rights are, what is expected of you,
and what you should expect from your employer.
What you should expect from them. But also, this Lord Mark Price, the founder of Engaging Business, he was a former Minister of State at the Department for International Trade. He said, understanding how ethnicity affects working life for employees is vital for any business. Just like gender and age, ethnicity plays a huge part in how people interact and work with each other. Unfortunately, it's no surprise that the black working community feel the way they do. It's now up to business leaders to understand these results and act on them to make working life fairer for the black community. The reason was gathered by Work Happy at Work test, which had been taken by over 20,000 employees globally since 2017. So that statistic that we saw of that 57% of black women not feeling empowered came from that 20,000. Well, maybe it might have been 10,000 women, 10,000 mouths. But that's possibly where that come from, that statistic. So it's over 57%.
Still quite
but that means that there's still like, is it 43% women that don't feel empowered within the workplace, or don't have an opinion, or aren't able to voice what they want as well. Ricky J also makes a point there, as regards to what we spoke about earlier. Both need to heal together, grow together, and help each other balance out. Understand each other, work with women groups and men groups and couples groups to learn from one another. That's a good idea, actually, isn't it? Each one teach one.
Yeah.
That's very important, that we learn from each other. And that's very, very important to do that. So, yeah, feeling empowered at work, we do have a voice. Always remember that.
Yeah.
Joy says there that then he became self-conscious and empowered. What do you mean by that, Joy? Becoming conscious and empowered. Is that through reading policy? Or is that just through love of self and knowing that nothing can rain on my parade when I go into work? And is it all about self-empowerment? What do you think, Lily?
I think it's a little bit about self-empowerment, but I do think that if you know your rights in the workplace, you will be able to feel confident when you're being vocal. And I don't mean vocal as in going up to your manager and saying, well, I can get this and blah, blah, blah. I mean vocal as in saying, putting it in a nicely worded email stating that I've asked for the 26th off and I will not be coming into work. If they then take further action, knowing what your rights are.
Yeah, and we've said that, haven't we? Like knowing policy and looking into it and making sure that...
And doing training as well. Because I do find as well, within the workplace, from what I've seen, a lot of people get lazy because they're in a position that they feel, oh, there's not really anywhere for me to go. I know how to do my job. I don't need to do any additional training. Other than the mandatory things, they don't try and better themselves. And I find once you stop learning, you stop the ability to be utilised better. And management will look at that.
What, of not wanting to be trained?
Yeah.
Okay, because...
If you just sit there and do your job, that's great. But it's like when we're speaking about effort over effectiveness, isn't it? If you're putting in the effort on your desk, that's great, but it means nothing to them. How can you be effective? How can you be an innovator? How can you be someone that makes them look better? And as bad as that sounds, but makes them look better. Because then if you are doing that extra 5 to 10%, you may just feel better in yourself because you feel like, do you know what? I have exceeded my standard today. I'm great. And then that comes in with a self-empowerment.
Yeah.
You empowering yourself, you may shine.
Yeah.
Then they'll feel like, oh, actually, I need him to be in front. I need them to be seen.
Yeah, but never kind of overdoing it to the sense that they're abusing the way that you do things.
Yeah.
You
got to balance it. You got to be balanced.
So like Joy says here, naturally Lily's husband standing up to the manager. Most men are laid back but take it out on their spouses. That's very interesting, isn't it?
Had a really bad day at work. Where's my dinner? Oh Oh my God, I shouldn't laugh. But it's true.
Wow. Well, let's hope that you've got to speak up more. Men have to speak up more, I think.
Yeah.
And well done for standing up to that person. And I remember that was at the one manager that was really rude when he was actually right about the job as well.
Yeah. That's that. But no, that was in a new position, and he was right, and the manager had to apologise.
Yeah.
He had to say, do you know what? I thank you, team, for your help, blah blah blah. And he did apologise, but the previous manager was awful.
Wow. And he escalated it. So when you escalate things as well, you might get something done if you got a better line manager at the over.
With the second manager, when he did create a problem, because of how he was treated, he knew that there was something that should have been done about it, and he did take steps to make sure that person was brought up on their attitude.
Yeah.
Because obviously things got resolved and they apologised and they said thank you, whatever, it didn't go any further. But he was very willing to be open because he had been through that situation before. And I think once you've experienced bad behaviour, you know you don't want to go through that experience again. You will be vocal again.
Yeah, so you got to stand up for your rights in that sense. Going back to what we Pele says here, he's a contractor, so technically he is his own boss, which he prefers. When the job, I just move on. That's how I feel empowered. So he moves on. So he does the job, moves on. That's what empowers him. But being his own boss, then I guess you don't have to. But you might have tricky customers. That's possibly what he has to suffer.
Yeah.
But being your own boss, technically, he can just do the job and move on.
Yeah.
And Decima says, because of bad experiences in the past with black men, now I feel I have been pushed to try to date other races. White for the first time is in my life. I guess you will never know until you try. That's her thought.
This is true.
So, yeah, stepping outside of what we're used to. Like we said right at the start, guys,
Coming at you comfortably.
Today is National Old Stuff Day. So if you want to get rid of the old stuff, it's all right to try the new stuff. And, yeah, you might be quite surprised in stepping over to the other side, as we always say. And very, very true, very true. So trying something new, we never know, but it's the reasons behind, I guess, that point of black women losing interest in the black man.
Yeah.
And I think we highlighted it's the value that is put upon us by the black man. And we're not saying that it's I guess it happens in every race.
Yeah.
It happens amongst everybody. But it's us. We were devalued for a long time. Both the black and black man and black female were devalued for a long time. Okay, and in slavery, something again I learnt is that they're also white slaves.
Yeah,
it's a vicious
Irish
cycle.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a vicious cycle. But the undervaluing of any human being is not nice.
But you have to look and see the when they realised that they were of value, when the Irish or the white slaves realised their value, they refused to work. And over time, they've been able to take back, they've been able to take back how they were treated, and they've somewhat come out of that. The same with the black female. The black female, a good few years ago, said, no, we're not having your rubbish no more. We're not going to let you treat us like rubbish. We're going to go into the workplace. We're going to be mothers and wives, and we're going to stand up for our rights. The black women done that. Black men were still being devalued. They're still been very, very recently devalued to the fact that they can't get jobs. They can't get good education just because they're always being put at a disadvantage. And it's only been recently, the last couple of years, when they have started building for themselves, and then you've got the technological world and all of that kind of thing that's been able to give them that power back. So it's the transition of time. The black woman has still been undervalued, but they've taken their power back. a lot quicker
in a
than the
big
black men
way.
has taken it back.
But do you know what's really beautiful to see? That they are.
Yeah.
That empowerment. Yes, I totally believe in female empowerment. I totally believe in male empowerment because to be treated so badly for so long and yet we always find a way out. Look at that. We were just looking at that Black Excellence with those 4 actors.
Yeah.
And there's more, you know. There's more. I saw my cousin Jules today acting, pretending to cry. I really thought he was crying. And I thought, bruv, you got me. I said, boy, move over, John Boyega, you know. So there's so many of us.
Yeah.
We are, when we put our hands to things, when we really focus deeply on something, we just shine so bright. And this is what's lovely about our black men. You know, that they're taking the bull by the horns, like I said again, and riding that thing. Ride it, cowboy. Ride it, cowboy.
Yes.
And that is amazing. We'll see you all in 5.
Call us now on 07895 134 713. That's 07895 134713.
Auch in Deutschland hören wir All Flavors
Radio.
The best music from around the world.
Now, here comes the music.
Did you come just to be a shadow on the wall, and watch everybody else cut loose? Gotta lose control of your body all night long. If you didn't come here to dance, what's the use? Why did you come out if you didn't come to have some fun? I got my eyes on you all night, and I want to dance with you. I wanna dance with you. All I wanna do is dance with you. I wanna dance with you. Just wanna dance with you, baby. The music and the magic, they touch your soul. We just don't know where to start. Meet me in the middle of the dance floor, baby. Just might dance your way into my heart and soul. Why did you come out if you didn't come to have some fun? I have my eyes on you all night, and I want to dance with you. I wanna dance with you. All I wanna do is dance with you. I wanna dance with you. Just wanna dance with you, baby. Why did you come out if you didn't come to have some fun? I got my eyes on you all night, and I want to dance with you. I wanna dance with you. All I wanna do is dance with you.
You know, on the show,
I wanna dance with you.
we like to feature artists, and this is a New Jersey connection. New release. Dance with You.
Why did you come out if you didn't come to have some fun? I have my eyes on you all night, and I want to dance with you. I wanna dance with you. All I wanna do is dance with you. I wanna dance with you.
nation. Oh my, I love Guyana, a beautiful creation. There's no way the grass is greener, there's no way the sunshine brighter. The land of many rivers, yes, we have plenty water. Everywhere the people come, drinking El Dorado rum. The land of the Jaguar and it running through the Amazon. We cooking by the hour, galpuri with a sour. No one is chef like we with the pepper pot and the MetMG. If you're black or Portuguese, Indian or Chinese, all of we is Guyanese. We must live in harmony. Guyana, land of my mother and my father, makes me also rich in culture. One people, one nation. Oh my, I love Guyana, a beautiful creation. Guyana, land of my sister and my brother, makes me also rich in culture. One people, one nation. Oh my, I love Guyana.
It's the sounds of Marissa.
We mango is sweeter, the home of the Demerara.
I love Guyana.
Great Roraima, forest with plenty acre. The girls are very pretty, the boys they love to wine. So you better come to GT whenever it's party time. Our country rich in oil, the land is full of gold. I rep it for Guyana until I grey and old. One day I bring my daughter, one day I bring my son. I show them in Guyana that all of we is one. Guyana, land of my mother and my father, makes me also rich in culture. One people, one nation. Oh my, I love Guyana, a beautiful creation. Guyana, land of my sister and my brother, makes me also rich in culture. One people, one nation. Oh my, I love Guyana, a beautiful creation.
The leaves they fall at night, and you might leave my side. You may, 'cause change is bound to come.
Sorry about that, Joy. I've only just seen your message in the chat room.
No one wants pain to lie
Next time, I promise.
and live through their shame. You wanna gallivant and lose all your thoughts tonight. You wanna gallivant and lose all your thoughts tonight. When your smoke is out, who's gonna light your fire? The code sometimes is lessons learned inside. I wanna dance like fire. 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 I wanna dance like fire.
It's very loud.
Leave it to me, leave it to me. Let me open my eyes and see. Legacy comes when we meet. 'Cause faith is stronger than disbelief. Nothing but change is upon you. Nothing but change. Nothing but change is upon you. Nothing but change. You wanna gallivant and lose all your thoughts tonight. You wanna gallivant and lose all your thoughts tonight. When your smoke is out, who's gonna light your fire? The code sometimes is lessons learned inside. I wanna dance like fire. 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 I wanna dance like fire.
Sounds of Elay Weeks there for y'all. That's also a new release from the man from Boston. And yes, some really great artists out there at the moment. I've got some new features coming up and we'll be interviewing a few in the future. So, Lily, as regards to the things we've been speaking about tonight, we've covered quite a lot, I would say. And one was obviously on black men and are black women losing interest in them, as well as why men feel that they're not heard, or why they're not heard in the workplace, or why they're least trusted, and why black women feel least empowered in UK offices. We had some comments there, didn't we?
Yeah, we had some really good comments in the chat. So, Caddy says, "Man, what a topic, ladies." Had a similar experience to Lily's husband trying to keep me at a certain grade. Not an easy situation, but it drove me to taking my skills elsewhere and charging for that service. You need to know what your worth is, and that can be a process. And then Joy McKay says, it's all about you managing your life and confronting without offending. I agree with Caddy. There are opportunities, but black men and women need to be proactive about the process and exercise their rights without excessive force. Practice self-control. That's what the white counterparts have been using against the black race. We need to switch roles and see the outcome. We are smarter. That is a very good point.
Yeah, because it's not about getting angry. It's about, I often use this allegory, and it's when he threw all the people out the temple. Now, a lot of people say he didn't get angry, and I'm not saying that we need to get angry with our bosses and to have our voices heard, but he went outside and he thought about it while he was plaiting them ropes together to drive them people out, right? So he didn't just go and get mad. It was something done in a very controlled way.
Yeah.
And likewise with us, if we feel an anger kind of come up inside of us, we need to take stock of that, because remember, no one can make us angry. And then think about the process. So like you said, knowing policy, that would possibly help to say, do you know what? I know this act is in line with whatever. I need to confront my manager and help them to see that I am to be trusted, my thoughts, and I'm to be trusted to be left alone to get on with certain things, and do it in a way that is thought about as well as reserved, and not in a sort of lash out kind of mad way. And they say, oh, you black people are all the same because we expected that from you.
Yeah.
Give them what they don't expect.
Yeah. And I think it's really interesting that Caddy said that it pushed him to go elsewhere, as in starting his own venture, because we were going through Napoleon Hill's Think and Grow Rich.
Yeah.
But now, guys, we've moved on from there. We're doing Grant Cardone's 10X, the 10X rule. And in chapter 22, it's called Successful or Unsuccessful. He speaks about 31 things that will make you successful. And point number 1 is have a can-do attitude. That is exactly what Caddy had. He said, I can do this. I don't need you to do it. I'm going to take my services elsewhere where I know that they will be appreciated.
Absolutely.
And Cardone says people with a can-do attitude approach every situation with the outlook that no matter what, it can be done. They consistently use phrases like, we can do it, let's make it happen, let's work it out. And they always maintain that solution exists. And I think that is a point that we need to come to, regardless of where we're from, who we are, where we are in our work, whether it's the lowest income to the person at the top, always having the attitude that there is a solution to a problem. If you're not feeling empowered, if you're not feeling appreciated, if you're not feeling like you're being given the responsibility, what is the solution to that problem? If the solution is I'm leaving,
then do it in a great way. And what I loved about what Caddy says is that the boss didn't see his value.
Yeah.
And it's about us seeing our value and working within that and knowing our value. And he knew that he had more to offer.
Yeah.
So he went out there and offered more. And his words were, trusted.
Yes.
He trusted in himself to the fact that, you know what, I know I have important things that I have to say, or I feel that I can be trusted to make that decision.
Mm-hmm.
So now he's making those decisions for himself.
Yeah.
And it's a wonderful thing, isn't it? So knowing our value and knowing our worth is so important as well. Yeah, Grant Cardone that 10X Rule is a great book.
It really
and
is.
Yeah, I love those 30 odd points because they really help you to kind of reflect on how you go about doing things. And like that chapter is like successful or unsuccessful. And we will be going through those 32 rules now, beautiful people, just to see how we can kind of level up. It's all about leveling up, isn't it?
It really is.
Elevating.
Yes.
Here on the 2nd of March. Guys, it's the 2nd of March 2021.
Beginning of the new month.
Yeah.
Month number 3.
Yeah, and it's
Already.
it's also National Women's Month.
Oh, nice.
Yes, we're going to be doing lots of things around women, as well as we'll be talking a lot on sickle cell is one of the things that's going to be highlighted maybe throughout the month. And then we're going to get some people in later on in the year and discuss that as well.
Nice.
So it's amazing. It really is, knowing that we can be empowered. And black men, we love you, you know. We love you. All right, so it's about you seeing your value. All right, and I know I posed that question right at the beginning as regards to, are black women losing interest in black men? All right, maybe we felt unwanted for a long time.
Yeah.
And there are a lot of single, beautiful black women out there that feel undervalued. And possibly that's the reason why.
And a white man showing them a little bit of interest, not a little bit of interest, they're showing them interest, and they're going to go in that direction.
We do a lot for them.
Because you know, when you look at those old school interracial relationships, that they went through a struggle, like they were, especially the ones that are from America, they got their house burnt down and they've all got a story that came with it, but love prevailed. Regardless of what the relationship is, whether you're interracial, whether you're with someone that's from the same country as you, whether someone, you know, whatever the relationship is, the bottom line is love prevails. I don't understand why, you know, some people go into relationships as if it's just something that can be played with.
Yeah.
And not
seriousness
realize
of
it really is. It's not a game. Life, the University of Life, as Nana would say, this is a module in the University of Life.
Hey, I like that.
It's not something that we need to be
just taken lightly.
Yeah.
So when you go to uni, each module is just as important as a number 1, right down to number 10, number whatever. Every module is important to pass in order to succeed, to get that end result. And likewise in life, you're right. Thanks, Joy, for that point.
Yeah.
You know that we are in the University of Life, but it's
not a plaything, especially when you get to the point where, you know, a lot of these relationships break down, and then sadly there's children involved, like the one we were speaking about last week. There's children involved in the relationship, and many couples make that co-parenting work, but the process still affects the children.
Yeah.
And whether, you know, whether it's amicable, whether it's not, it's still something that, what was the ideal going into the relationship? We spoke last week about, back in the day, the values about relationships was very different to the values today.
Yeah.
The fact that there is even a study being done on how black women feel about black men, I question it. I'm like, why? Why is that a study?
Hi Hortense. She says she's just getting in from work, and she says black women see that they are ignored by black men, some not all, and are overwhelmed by white women taking over. As well as when our men try to fit in the society to be accepted, they become I can't see that. They become something to our own women. So, you know, those are 2 points she's made there. So it's us feeling ignored, possibly, and then the black man may be trying to fit into society, so he will go out of his way to fit in and ignore. Maybe we are undervalued. Well, we're undervalued, because I'm not going to say that, because we are empowered now. But it's just a matter, of seeing that. You know, so there's a lot in there. Beautiful people. Just a little point here. There are a couple of opportunities that have come up. Before we finish, it's this one was sent in from Anthony Arimorum, and this is from Elizabeth Benjamin. She's a producer working on a short film with Edwin Mingard, and he's a director at satellitefilms.org. It's called H is for Hustle Environment, and it's a kind of compendium film, circa 26 shorter films made by people who've experienced asylum and hostile environments in the UK. So it's an Arts Council film. The deadline is the 16th of April. So it says participants also get paid £250 as a nominal fee for the field work, and it's 1 day of filming, and that's including a few development meetings. So if you are interested in that, I'm going to pop that.
I've posted it.
Oh, you've posted it?
Yeah.
Lovely. So we'll pop that into the chat room. That's one opportunity. There's also another one. So that one is for film, to be in a film, isn't it? Working with the producer, Elizabeth Benjamin. And all the information is there in the chat room. I will also post this one on Facebook as well, if I can, as well as another opportunity with British Airways. Now, Wayne sent this one in to me, and this is for engineering apprenticeships. So they're available because they're saying there's a lack of black people in these roles. This one closes on the 12th of March. All right, so that's next week, next Friday that closes. So check this one out as well. That's at jobs.ba.com/jobs/vacancy. So that's British Airways as well as Elizabeth Benjamin. Pop into the chat room and just take a look at these opportunities, because they are out there. As well as one more person, Camilla has sent in, it's the petition, do not roll out COVID-19 vaccine passports. We might cover that in a series, we'll see, but we don't like to say that C word, right? So we'll work that one out. So there's a petition going around regarding not rolling out the vaccine passports. All right, so in all of this then, we have a very... Okay, lovely, Lily. Thank you. Lily's posted that in the chat room. So for anyone that's interested, if you know any youngsters that are looking for opportunities, something new, please pass on the information. So we thank you guys so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Remember to lock in every night. We do have special DJs playing all throughout the week. They've done an awesome job over the start end, as well as last night. Thank you, DJ Slim and Mark Philogene. We have DJ Laro will follow me from 8 till 10 tonight, as well as DJ Mark Philogene, who will be on from 10 till 12. Do remember that we are on Facebook as well, allflavors.com, and you can catch me. I'm at Wimbo77 on Instagram and Natasha John Baptiste on Facebook, as well as Lily.
I don't actually know my name on Instagram. I am naturally Lily, naturally_Lily89 on Instagram, and I'm not on any other platform as Naturally Lily. So yeah.
Okay, so all we've got left to say to you, beautiful people, is we'll see y'all on the other side. Take care.
1, 2.